This exhibition opened on June 25th. It is Rodin, Contemplation and Dreams, selection from the Iris and B. Gerald Cantor Foundation. And it features 45 Rodin sculptures, ranging in life-size to even larger than life-size to small studies that he did. It starts early on in his career and goes through chronologically, telling you how far he came in his career and all of the struggles that he faced along the way and why his work is so important to us now as he kind of bridged the gap between traditional and modern sculpture.
Auguste Rodin was, after Michelangelo, the greatest known sculptor of all time. So if everyone thinks about Michelangelo's David, probably after that they think about The Thinker by Rodin. So we are so incredibly honored to have his work here with 45 sculptures in our galleries here in Polk County. He is easily one of the greatest masters of all time. Rodin's sculptures, which are primarily made in bronze, as exhibited in our show itself, exude this idea of pathos and emotion and drama, and any viewer of his sculptures will be mesmerized by the fact they look like they could breathe, they look like they could talk, they look like they could weep, they look like they are living beings despite the fact they're made of metal. The fact that he's able to conjure these feelings, that he's able to conjure these emotions and this characterization of humanity through metal is just incredible. And I think that's really the power of Rodin and why he has remained such an icon of art history for 100 years plus now past his death.
I think people are interested in Rodin because he was able to bring to the table a new perspective on sculpture through a very classic technique that, you can see in traditional Greek sculpture. Nothing had to be refined, nothing had to be perfect, and through the imperfections of his work, through almost like these beautiful unfinished pieces, you got movement, you got emotion, you got human empathy and connection. And I think that's why people are always so drawn to his work, because they don't come right out and say what it is, and they don't come right out and present themselves as something perfect. You get to feel through the sculpture, and every time you look at a sculpture you see a new part of it, you see something that he decided to deliberately leave a little imperfect. And I think that's why his sculptures are so important, because when you look way back at the sculptures that he was inspired by, they were very refined, they were very perfect, and so this is the bridge now between those techniques and modern sculpture that we see today.
It's incredible just to have the ability to showcase works like this in Polk County. This is a rare occasion for our region, and having the ability to really have people look into this moment in art history, the late 19th century, learn a little bit about Rodin's life, about his career, about his struggles to establish himself as an artist. I think people will see that there is similarity in perhaps their own stories or their family stories, and it will resonate with them. At the same time, they're going to recognize historic figures and historic stories. The Gates of Hell, for instance, takes on Dante's Inferno famously. So we have literary figures and heroic figures and martyred figures, and there's so much content in the show that people are going to be so engaged with and then intrigued by the beauty of the sculptures themselves that they're going to want to come back again and again and again. And so I think with the show itself, the exhibition really speaks to the legacy of Rodin, but only opens the doors to visitors wanting to learn more and more about him.